Ulcer. Definition. An ulcer is a break in the continuity of the covering epithelium, either skin or mucous membrane due to molecular death. A. Non-healing ulcer foot. B. Malignant, SCC, ulcer leg. Parts of an ulcer. A. Margin. It may be regular or irregular. It may be rounded or oval. B. Edge. Edge is the one which connects flow of the ulcer to the margin. Different edges are sloping edge. It is seen in a healing ulcer. Its inner part is red because of red, healthy granulation tissue. Its outer part is white due to scar, fibrous tissue. Its middle part is blue due to epithelial proliferation. Undermined edge is seen in a tuberculous ulcer. Disease process advances in deeper plane, in subcutaneous tissue, whereas skin, epidermis proliferates inwards. Punched out edge is seen in a gummatous, syphilitic ulcer and trophic ulcer. It is due to endarteritis. Soft chancre, soft so, decrease ulcer, chancroid bubo. Climatic bubo, tropical bubo. Raised and beaded edge, pearly white, is seen in a rodent ulcer, BCC. Beads are due to proliferating active cells. Everted edge, rolled out edge, it is seen in a carcinomatous ulcer due to spill of the proliferating malignant tissues over the normal skin. C. Flow. It is the one which is seen. Flow may contain discharge, granulation tissue is slough. D. Base. Base is the one on which ulcer rests. It may be bone or soft tissue. Induration of an ulcer. Induration is a clinical palpatory sign which means there is a specific type of hardness in the diseased tissue. It is obvious in well-differentiated carcinomas. It is better felt in squamous cell. Carcinoma. It is also observed in long-standing ulcer with underlying fibrosis. It is absent or less in poorly differentiated carcinomas and malignant melanoma. Less indurated carcinoma is more aggressive. Specific types of indurations are observed in venous diseases and chronic deep venous thrombosis. Brawny induration is a feature of an abscess. Induration is felt at edge, base and surrounding area of an ulcer. Induration at surrounding area signifies the extent of disease, tumor. Outermost part of the indurated area is taken as the point from where clearance of wide excision is planned. Classifications. Classification I. Clinical. 1. Spreading ulcer. Here edge is inflamed, irregular and edematous. It is an acute painful ulcer. Flow does not contain healthy granulation tissue, or granulation tissue is absent, but with profuse purulent discharge and slough. Surrounding area is red and edematous. Regional, draining, lymph nodes are enlarged and tender due to inflammation. There will be associated fever, pain, impairment of functions with local tissue destruction and with little evidence of regeneration. Spreading ulcer. Copious purulent discharge with slough. 2. Healing ulcer. Edges sloping with healthy pink, red healthy granulation tissue with scanty, minimal serous discharge in the flow. Slough is absent. Regional lymph nodes may or may not be enlarged, but when enlarged always non-tender. Surrounding area does not show any signs of inflammation or induration. Base is not indurated. 3 zones are observed in healing ulcer. Innermost red zone of healthy granulation tissue, middle bluish zone of growing epithelium, outer whitish zone of fibrosis and scar formation. Healing ulcer with healthy granulation tissue in the flow. Non-healing ulcer. It may be a chronic ulcer depending on the cause of the ulcer. Here edge will be depending on the cause. Punched out, trophic, undermined, tuberculous, rolled out, carcinomatous ulcer, beaded, rodent ulcer. Flow contains unhealthy granulation tissue and slough, and serosanguineous, purulent, bloody discharge. Regional draining lymph nodes may be enlarged but non-tender. Non-healing ulcer with pale unhealthy granulation tissue with slough. Fig. 1.36. Spreading ulcer copious purulent discharge with slough. 2. Healing ulcer. Edges sloping with healthy pink, red healthy granulation tissue with scanty, minimal serous discharge in the flow. Slough is absent. Regional lymph nodes may or may not be enlarged but when enlarged always non-tender. Surrounding area does not show any signs of inflammation or induration. Base is not indurated. 3 zones are observed in healing ulcer. Innermost red zone of healthy granulation tissue, middle bluish zone of growing epithelium, outer whitish zone of fibrosis and scar formation. 4. Callous, stationary, ulcer. It is callousness towards healing. Word, callous, means, insensitive and cruel, and also it means, hard-skinned. It is also a chronic non-healing ulcer. Flow contains pale unhealthy, flabby, whitish-yellow granulation tissue and thin scanty serous discharge or rarely copious serosanguinous discharge, with indurated non-tender edge. Base is indurated, non-tender and often fixed. Ulcer does not show any tendency to heal. It lasts for many months to years. Tissue destruction is more with absence of or only minimal regeneration. Induration and pigmentation may be seen in the surrounding area. There is no, less discharge. Regional lymph nodes may be enlarged, are firm, hard and non-tender. Allus ulcer without any sign of healing and without any granulation tissue. Classification 2, based on duration. 1. Acute ulcer. Duration is less than 2 weeks. 2. Chronic ulcer. Duration is more than 2 weeks long. Fig. 1.37. Healing ulcer with healthy granulation. Classification 3, pathological. 1. Specific ulcers, tuberculous, syphilitic, actinomycosis and Melanese ulcer. Maggot seen in a chronic ulcer. Tuberculous ulcer ankle area. Note the undermined edge. Discharge study. Biopsy and later antituberculous drugs are the treatment. They are usually painless. 2. Malignant ulcers. Carcinomatous, rodent, BCC, melanotic. 3. Non-specific ulcers. 3/4. Traumatic ulcer. It may be mechanical, physical, chemical, common. 3. Arterial ulcer. Atherosclerosis, tau. Venous ulcer. Gravitational ulcer, post-phlebitic ulcer. Trophic ulcer, pressure sore. Infective ulcers, pyogenic ulcer. Basal cell carcinoma of face, rodent ulcer. Ulcer edge is raised and beaded in appearance. Squamous cell carcinoma, SCC, epithelioma, leg with typical evert edge. SCC can be ulcerative, ulceroproliferative or proliferative ulcer on clinical look. A. Malignant proliferative ulcer. B. Melanotic ulcer. Tropical ulcers. It occurs in tropical countries. It is callous type of ulcer, e.g. Vincent's ulcer. Ulcers due to chilblains and frostbite, cryopathic ulcer. Marterell's hypertensive ulcer. Buzzin's ulcer. Diabetic ulcer. Ulcers due to leucemia, polycythemia, jaundice, collagen diseases, lymphedema. Cortisol ulcers are due to long-time application of cortisol, steroid, creams to certain skin diseases. These ulcers are callus ulcers, last for long time and require excision and skin grafting. Ischemic ulcer foot. Middle 3 toes are already amputated because of gangrene. Venous ulcers in both feet. Site is around ankle, gaiters zone. There are healthy granulation tissues. It needs skin grafting and definitive procedure for varicose veins after evaluation. Infective ulcer in the foot. Note the quantity of slough, exposed tendon and gangrenous toes. Patient requires below or above knee amputation. Large ulcer in the foot and leg with exposed tendon. Non-healing ulcer foot in a diabetic patient with Pseudomonas infection. Note the greenish discharge in the wound. Pseudomonas infection is commonly hospital-acquired. Wagner's grading, classification of ulcer. Fig. 1.45. Ischemic ulcer foot. Middle 3 toes are already amputated because of gangrene. Grade 0 preulcerative lesion, healed ulcer. Grade 1 superficial ulcer. Grade 2 ulcer deeper to subcutaneous tissue exposing soft tissues or bone. Grade 3 abscess formation underneath, osteomyelitis. Grade 4 gangrene of part of the tissues, limb, foot. Grade 5 gangrene of entire one area, foot. B. Stages of ulcer healing. 1. Stage of extension. Ulcer flow is covered with slough, purulent discharge and inflamed edge and margin. 2. Stage of transition. Flow shows separated slough, healthy granulation tissue, serous discharge. 3. Stage of repair. Fibrosis, collagen deposition, scar formation occurs. B. Different discharges in an ulcer, as well as from a sinus. Fig. 1.46. Venous ulcers in both feet. Site is around ankle, gaiter. A. Serous. In healing ulcer. B. Purulent. In infected ulcer, staphylococci, yellowish and creamy, streptococci, bloody and opalescent Pseudomonas, greenish color due to pseudocyanin. C. Bloody. Malignant ulcer, healing ulcer from healthy granulation tissue. D. Seropurulent. A. Serosanguinous, serous and blood. F. Serous with sulfur granules, actinomycosis. G. Yellowish, tuberculous ulcer. Granulation tissue. It is proliferation of new capillaries and fibroblasts intermingled with red blood cells and white blood cells with thin fibrin cover over it. Types. Fig. 1.48. Large ulcer in the foot and leg. Healthy granulation tissue. It occurs in a healing ulcer. It has got sloping edge. It bleeds on touch. It has got serous discharge. 5 petaseconds of granulation tissue. Pink, pinctate hemorrhages, pulseful, painless, pinhead granulation. Skin grafting takes up well with healthy granulation tissue. Streptococci growth in culture should be less than 105 per gram of tissue before skin grafting. Healing ulcer with healthy granulation tissue. Note the sloping edge. Unhealthy granulation tissue. It is pale with purulent discharge. Its flow is covered with slough. Its edge is inflamed and edematous. It is a spreading ulcer. Unhealthy, pale, flat granulation tissue. It is seen in chronic non-healing ulcer, callus ulcer. Exuberant granulation tissue, proud flesh. It occurs in a sinus or ulcer wherein granulation tissue protrudes out of the sinus opening or ulcer bed like a proliferating mass. It is commonly associated with a retained foreign body in the sinus cavity. Exuberant granulation tissue, proud flesh, in an ulcer. It should be scooped out using Volkmann's scoop prior to skin grafting. Sprouting granulation tissue of sinus. Pyogenic granuloma. It is a type of exuberant granulation tissue. Here granulation tissue from an infected wound or ulcer bed protrudes out, presenting as a well-localized, red swelling which bleeds on touching. Differential diagnosis: papilloma, skin adnexal tumors. Treatment: antibiotics, excision and sent for biopsy. Pyogenic granuloma. Investigations for an ulcer. 19. Study of discharge, culture and sensitivity, AFB study, cytology. Typical greenish-colored ulcer due to Pseudomonas infection. X-ray showing osteomyelitis with sequestrum inside. Osteomyelitis prevents ulcer healing. Bone thickening on clinical examination is typical. Wedge biopsy. Biopsy is taken from the edge because edge contains multiplying cells. Usually 2 biopsies are taken. Biopsy taken from the center may be inadequate because of central necrosis. X-ray of the part to look for periostitis, osteomyelitis. FNAC of the lymph node. Chest X-ray, Mantoux test in suspected case of tuberculous ulcer. Hemoglobin, ESR, total WBC count, serum protein estimation, albumin. Note: ulcer will not granulate if hemoglobin is less than 8 grams percent and serum albumin is less than 3 grams percent. Assessment of an ulcer. XX cause of an ulcer should be found: diabetes, venous, arterial, infective. Fig. 1.52. Pyogenic granuloma. XX clinical type. XX cause of an ulcer should be found: diabetes, venous, arterial, infective. Fig. 1.52. Pyogenic granuloma. XX clinical type should be assessed. Assessment of wound is important: anatomical site, size and depth of the wound, edge of the wound, mobility, fixity, induration, surrounding area, local blood supply. Wound perimeter may be useful in assessing this. XX wound imaging is done by tracing it on a transparent acetate sheet at regular intervals. XX presence of systemic features, regional nodal status, function of the limb, part, joint movements, distal pulses, sensations should be assessed. XX severity of infection should be assessed. Culture of discharge. XX specific investigations like wedge biopsy, X-ray of part, blood sugar, arterial, venous Doppler, angiogram. Management of an ulcer. Cause should be found and treated. Correction of the anemia, deficiencies lack of protein and vitamins. Proper investigation is needed. Transfusion of the blood if required. Control the pain and infection. Rest, immobilization, elevation, avoidance of repeated trauma. Care of the ulcer by debridement, ulcer cleaning and dressing. Desloughing is done either mechanically or chemically. Mechanically it is done using scissor by excising the slough. Hydrogen peroxide, which releases nascent oxygen, is used as chemical agent. Acroflavin is antiseptic and irritant and so desloughs the area and promotes granulation tissue formation. Usol, Edinburgh University solution, which contains sodium hypochlorite, releases nascent chlorine which forms a water-soluble complex with slough to dissolve it. Use of povidone iodine in ulcer cleaning is controversial. Open wound is not suitable. It is mainly for cleaning the surgical field prior to incision. Maggots, if present in the wound, will cause crawling sensation and are removed using turpentine solution. Removal of the exuberant granulation tissue is also required when present. Ulcer cleaning and dressing is done daily or twice daily or once in 2 to 3 days depending on the type of ulcer and type of dressing used. Normal saline is ideal for ulcer cleaning. Various dressings are available: films, oxide, semi-permeable polyurethane, hydrocolloids, duoderm, hydrogels, polyethylene oxide with water, hydroactives, non-pectin-based polyurethane matrix, foams, polyurethane hydrophilic or hydrophobic non-occlusive, impregnates, non-adherent fine mesh impregnated with antibacterials, calcium alginates, etc. Topical antibiotics for infected ulcers are not essential, but like framicetin, silver sulfadiazine, mupirocin may be used. Vacuum-assisted closure, VAC therapy, it is by creation of negative pressure, 25 to 200 mmHg, continuous or intermittent over the wound surface. It causes reduced fluid in the interstitial space, reduces edema, increases the cell proliferation and protein matrix synthesis, promotes formation of healthy granulation tissue. Sterile foam is placed over the ulcer bed covering widely. Tube drain with multiple holes is kept within it and end of the tube comes out significantly. Away. Foam is sealed airtight using a sterile adhesive film. Tube is connected to suction system. Suction is maintained initially continuously, later intermittently. Redressing is done only after 4 to 7 days. Vacuum-assisted closure of an ulcer. Therapy using infrared, shortwave, ultraviolet rays to decrease the ulcer size is often used, but their benefits are not proved. Amnion to promote reepithelialization, chorion to promote granulation tissue formation is also often used. Antibiotics are not required once healthy granulation tissues are formed. Maggot debridement therapy. It is used as biotherapy, but not commonly, by placing cultured live disinfected maggots. Maggots are larvae of the green bottle fly, also known as the green blowfly, Lucilia sericata. They act by dissolving and engulfing dead necrotic tissues. They may reduce the bacterial content in the wound. They can inhibit many bacteria including MRSA, methicillin-resistant bacteria, anaerobic and aerobic bacteria. They secrete proteolytic enzymes to have mechanical effects. Secretion of ammonia alters the pH in the ulcer bed, which inhibits bacterial growth. They increase the granulation tissue formation also. Once ulcer granulates, defect is closed with secondary suturing, skin graft or flaps. Autologous bone marrow monocytes injection into the ulcer area is new concept by Professor Srivatsa Mohapatra, but yet to confirm. Usually skin grafting is used to cover the defect, healthy ulcer bed. A. Ulcer with slough which is non-healing. B. It becomes healing ulcer with healthy granulation tissue which will be covered with split skin graft. Ulcer leg with exposed bone. Patient underwent local rotation flap to cover. Area from where flap is rotated is covered with split skin graft. When the bone is exposed, skin grafting is not possible. Debridement of an ulcer XX. It is removal of devitalized tissue. XX small ulcers are debrided in the ward. XX large ulcers are debrided in operation theatre under general anesthesia. XX all dead, devitalized, necrotic tissues are removed. XX slough should be separated adequately before debridement. XX often devitalized tissue separates on its own by autolysis. XX enzymes like collagenase are used for debridement. XX hydrotherapy and dressings are mechanical non-selective method of debridement. XX debridement can be surgical, mechanical, autolytic or enzymatic. Dressing of an ulcer is done 21. XX to keep ulcer moist, XX to keep surrounding skin dry, XX to reduce pain, XX to soothe the tissue, XX to protect the wound, XX as an absorbent for the discharge. Solutions commonly used for ulcer and surrounding area cleaning and dressing: povidone iodine, brownish, EUSOL, colorless, hydrogen peroxide and normal saline. Note the EUSOL bath. Dilute EUSOL solution in a basin is used wherein ulcer foot is dipped and kept in place for 20 to 30 minutes. EUSOL removes the slough and cleans the ulcer bed. Hydrogen peroxide releases nascent oxygen and helps in removing necrotic material. Povidone iodine is not used for open wound, it is only a surface antiseptic. Ulcer dressings: XX cotton dressing, cheap but traumatic; XX paraffin dressing; XX polyurethane dressings used in clean wounds; XX alginates, Seaweed dressing used when there are heavy exudates. XX type 1 collagen dressings cause hemostasis, proliferation of fibroblasts and improve the blood supply. XX foam dressings are highly absorbent, decrease the wound maceration, and reduce the frequency of dressing. Hydrophilic polyurethane foam. XX hydrocolloid dressings help in separation of slough and autolysis of dead tissues. XX transparent film dressings are waterproof, permit oxygen and water vapor across and prevent contamination. XX hydrogel dressings used for clean wounds. Causes of formation of chronic, non-healing ulcer. Local causes. XX recurrent infection. XX trauma, presence of foreign body or sequestrum. XX absence of rest and immobilization. XX poor blood supply, hypoxia. XX edema of the part. XX loss of sensation. XX periostitis or osteomyelitis of the underlying bone. XX fibrosis of the surrounding soft tissues. XX lymphatic diseases. General, specific causes. XX anemia, hypoproteinemia. XX vitamin deficiencies. XX tuberculosis, leprosy. XX diabetes mellitus, hypertension. XX chronic liver or kidney diseases. XX steroid therapy locally or systemically. XX cytotoxic chemotherapy or radiotherapy. XX malignancy. Traumatic ulcer. Such ulcer occurs after trauma. It may be mechanical, dental ulcer along the margin of the tongue due to tooth injury, physical like by electrical burn, chemical like by alkali injury. Such ulcer is acute, superficial, painful and tender. Secondary infection or poor blood supply of the area make it chronic and deep. Footballer's ulcer is a traumatic ulcer occurring over the shin of males due to direct knocks on the shin. It is staphylococcal infection with a chronic and deep ulcer. Traumatic ulcers can occur anywhere in the body due to trauma. Traumatic ulcers in the upper limb. Deglaving ulcer with devitalized exposed tendons on the dorsum of the hand. Trauma causes infection, necrosis, fasciitis, crush injury, endarteritis of the skin leading into formation of large, deep non-healing ulcer. Treatment depends on size and extent of ulcer. Regular dressing, later skin grafting is done. Trophic ulcer, pressure sore. Decubitus ulcer, pressure sore is tissue necrosis and ulceration due to prolonged pressure. Blood flow to the skin stops once external pressure becomes more than 30 mm of mercury, more than capillary occlusive pressure, and this causes tissue hypoxia, necrosis and ulceration. It is more prominent between bony prominence and an external surface. It is due to impaired nutrition, defective blood supply, neurological deficit, pressure, anemia, injury, moisture. It is common in patients with orthopedic and head injuries, comatose and stroke patients, old age and tetanus patients. Sites: over the ischial tuberosity, sacrum, heel, heads of metatarsals, buttocks, shoulder, occiput. Due to the presence of neurological deficit, trophic ulcer is also called as neurogenic ulcer, neuropathic ulcer. Initially it begins as closity due to repeated trauma and pressure, under which suppuration occurs and gives way through a central hole which extends down into the deeper plane up to the underlying bone as perforating ulcer, penetrating ulcer. Bed sores are trophic ulcers. B factors causing pressure sore. XX normal stimulus to relieve the pressure is absent in anesthetized patient. XX nutritional deficiencies worsens the necrosis. XX inadequate padding over the bony prominences in malnourished patients. XX urinary incontinence in paraplegia patient causes skin soiling, maceration, infection, necrosis. Trophic ulcer, heel. It is deep punched out ulcer. It often requires rotation flap, transposition flap. Fig. 1.61. Deglaving ulcer with devitalized exposed tendons on the dorsum of the hand. Features: it occurs in 5% of all hospitalized patients. It is painless, deep, non-mobile ulcer which is punched out with base formed by bone. Bed sore, decubitus ulcer, over the greater trochanter, ischium and sacrum. Bed sore is a trophic ulcer. It is usually with punched out edge. B. Neurological causes XX diabetic neuropathy. Ulcer due to frostbite. It is due to exposure of a part to wet cold below the freezing point, cold wind. There is XX peripheral neuritis, XX stapes dorsalis, XX spina bifida, X paraplegia, X peripheral nerve injury, X syringomyelia, XX leprosy. Spinal injury. Investigations. Study of discharge, blood sugar, wedge biopsy from the edge, X-ray of the part and spine. B. Staging of pressure sore. XX non-blanching erythema, early superficial ulcer, XX partial thickness skin loss, late superficial ulcer, XX full thickness skin loss extending into subcutaneous tissue but not through fascia, early deep ulcer. XX full thickness skin loss with fascia and underlying structures like muscle, tendon, bone, etc., late deep ulcer. Treatment 3/4. Cause should be treated. Correction of diabetes and anemia. 3/4. Nutritional supplementation, rest, antibiotics, slough excision, regular dressings. Vacuum-assisted closure, VAC. Once ulcer granulates well, flap cover or skin grafting is done. Excision of the ulcer and skin grafting. Flaps, local rotation or other flaps, transposition flaps. Cultured muscle interposition. Proper care, change in position once in 2 hours, lifting the limb upwards for 10 seconds once in 10 minutes. Nutrition. Use of water bed, air bed, rippled bed, air fluid flotation bed and pressure dispersion cushions to the affected area, urinary and fecal care, hygiene, psychological counseling. Regular skin observation, keeping skin clean and dry, using regular use of talcum powder, oil massaging of the skin and soft tissues using clean, absorbent porous clothing, control and prevention of sepsis helps in the management. Ulcer due to chilblains. It is due to exposure to intense cold causing blisters and ulcerations in the feet. These ulcers are superficial. It is due to excessive cutaneous arteriolar constriction. The condition is also called as perniosis. C. Figs. 1.63a to C. Bed sore, decube. Ulcer due to frostbite. It is due to exposure of a part to wet cold below the freezing point, cold wind. There is arteriolar spasm, denaturation of proteins and cell destruction. It leads to gangrene of the part. Ulcers here are always deep. X spinal injury. XX peripheral neuritis, XX stapes dorsalis, XX spina bifida, X paraplegia, X peripheral nerve injury, X syringomyelia, XX leprosy. It is seen in hypertensive patients often with atherosclerosis. It is seen in calf. Often it is bilateral and painful. Necrosis of calf skin occurs with sloughing away and formation of deep, punched out ulcers extending into the deep fascia. There is sudden obliteration of the arterioles of the calf skin. Or peripheral pulses are present. It takes months to heal. Treatment. Once ulcer granulates well, skin grafting with lumbar sympathectomy is done. Arterial, ischemic ulcer. It is common in toes, feet or legs, often can occur in upper limb digits. It is due to poor blood supply following blockage of the digital or medium-sized arteries. Atherosclerosis and tau, thromboangiitis obliterans, are common causes of ischemic ulcers in lower limb. Cervical rib, Raynaud's phenomenon and vasculitis are common causes in upper limb. Ulcer initially occurs after trauma, soon becomes non-healing, spreading with scanty granulation tissue. Ulcer is very painful, tender and often hyperesthetic. Digits may often be gangrenous. Intermittent claudication, rest pain are common. Other features of ischemia are obvious in the adjacent areas. They are pallor, dry skin, brittle nail, patchy ulcerations, and loss of hair. Ulcer is usually deep, destructs the deep fascia, exposing tendons, muscles and underlying bone. Dead tendons look pale, greenish with pus over it. Management. Specific investigations like arterial Doppler, angiogram, lipid profile, and blood sugar are done. Treatment is done accordingly. Drugs like vasodilators, arterial surgeries may be needed. Ischemic ulcer, foot with gangrene of toes without evidence of any bleeding with exposed tendons. Bairnsdale ulcer. It is a chronic, irregular, undermined ulcer due to Mycobacterium ulcerans infection. Deep severe form, with extensive dermal necrosis is called as Buruli ulcer. Discharge study will show acid-fast bacilli. Antituberculous drugs resolve the ulcer usually. Skin grafting may be required later. Carcinomatous ulcer, EPITHELIOMA, squamous cell carcinoma, it arises from prickle cell layer of skin. It may initially begin as a nodule or ulcer, but later forms an ulcerative lesion with rolled out, everted edge. Flow contains necrotic content, unhealthy, tumor, granulation tissue and blood. Ulcer bleeds on touch and is vascular and friable. Induration is felt at the base and edge. It is usually circular or irregular in shape. Initially ulcer is mobile but becomes non-mobile once it infiltrates into deeper tissues. The typical foul smell is due to necrotic material, infection and release of polyamides from the tumor cells. Hard, discrete regional lymph nodes are often palpable, initially mobile but later become fixed. Lymph nodes can fungate eventually. Ulcer and lymph nodes are initially painless, but becomes painful and tender once there is deeper infiltration or secondary infection. Systemic spread is rare. It is a locoregional malignant disease. Verrucous carcinoma is exophytic, locally malignant well-differentiated squamous cell carcinoma without lymphatic spread. Management. Wedge biopsy, FNAC of regional lymph nodes are the investigations. Treated with wide local excision with skin grafting and regional lymph node block dissection. Marjolins ulcer can occur in an unstable scar of long duration, usually after burns or snake bite. It is well differentiated SCC which does not spread through lymphatics or blood. Refer Chapter 1R, Skin Tumors. Marjolins ulcer in a chronic unstable scar, of long duration, in the leg. It does not spread through lymphatics. Rodent ulcer. It is ulcerative form of basal cell carcinoma which is common in face. Ulcer shows central area of dry scab with peripheral raised active and beaded, pearly white edge. Often floor is pigmented. It erodes into deeper plain-like soft tissues, cartilages and bones, hence the name, rodent ulcer. As lymphatics are blocked early in the disease by large tumor cells, it does not spread to regional lymph nodes. Blood spread is absent. It is only locally malignant. It is common in face. Rarely can it occur over tibia, external genitalia, mucocutaneous junction. It does not occur in mucosa. Management. Wedge biopsy, CT scan of the part to see the depth, wide excision. Melanotic ulcer. It is ulcerative form of melanoma. It can occur in skin as de novo or in a pre-existing mole. Ulcer is pigmented, often with a halo around. Ulcer is rapidly growing, often with satellite nodules and, in transit, lesions. It is very aggressive skin tumor arising from melanocytes. It spreads rapidly to regional lymph nodes which are pigmented. Blood spread to liver, lungs, brain, and bones is common. It can occur in mucosa, genitalia, and eye. It is a systemic malignant disease. Management. Excision biopsy, usually incision biopsy is not done. FNAC lymph node, US abdomen. Treatment is wide local excision, regional node block dissection, chemotherapy. Melanotic ulcer in the foot with enlarged inguinal lymph nodes. Diabetic ulcer causes 3/4. Increased glucose in the tissue precipitates infection. 3/4. Diabetic microangiopathy which affects microcirculation. Increased glycosylated hemoglobin decreases the oxygen dissociation. Increased glycosylated tissue protein decreases the oxygen utilization. Diabetic neuropathy involving all sensory, motor and autonomous components. Associated atherosclerosis. Sites. Foot plantar aspect is the most common site, leg. Upper limb, back, scrotum, perineum. 3/4. Diabetic ulcer may be associated with ischemia. 3/4 ulcer is usually spreading and deep. Investigations. Blood sugar both random and fasting. Urine ketone bodies. Discharge for culture and sensitivity. X-ray of the part to see osteomyelitis. Arterial Doppler of the limb. Glycosylated hemoglobin estimation. Note 25A. Diabetic neuropathy is due to conversion of sugar to sorbitol which causes nerve demyelination. Neuropathy is distal, diffuse with a stalking distribution. It takes around 10 years to develop diabetic neuropathy. Glucose forms sorbitol by aldose reductase enzyme and galactose forms galactitol. If sorbitol level raises, it gets trapped in peripheral nerves, retina and lens causing neuropathy, cataract and retinopathy. There may be formation of abnormal arteriovenous communications under the skin leading into nerve ischemia and neuropathy. Sensory neuropathy causes loss of vibration sense of position, touch, pain and temperature. Sensation may be absent in the entire sole due to medial and plantar nerve involvement. Foot feels dead, senseless with walking like in the sand and prone for minor repeated traumas which are not noticed by the patient. Motor neuropathy causes paralysis of intrinsic muscles of foot leading into claw toes and hammer toe. Longitudinal arch of the foot is lost and it becomes flat causing loss of foot curvature, loss of joint position and loss of foot muscle strength leading into altered gait and positions of foot which in turn lead into deep-seated trophic ulcers over the heads of the metatarsals. Autonomic neuropathy causes absence of sweating and loss of skin elasticity making more prone for breakdown and infection. Autosympathectomy is common in diabetics involving foot area. Diabetic angiopathy may be macro or microangiopathy, thickening of the basement membrane of vessels and capillaries. Sepsis in diabetes, cellulitis, deep-seated abscess, ulcer formation, gangrene foot, osteomyelitis of metatarsals, septicemia, multi-organ dysfunction syndrome can occur faster in diabetes. Phagocytic activity in diabetes is reduced significantly. Granulocyte mobilization is reduced in diabetic ketoacidosis. Neuropathy, angiopathy, high tissue glucose level, associated smoking, hypertension, hyperlipidemia, reduced immunity increases the chances of sepsis in diabetics. Polymicrobial and fungal infections are common. Foot is the most common area for diabetic infective problems. It can cause abscess, ulcer, osteomyelitis, gangrene, septicemia. Initially patient undergoes toe amputation but later eventually land with below knee or above knee amputation. B. Problems with diabetic ulcer. XX neuropathy, in foot, clawing of toes, hammer toe, due to intrinsic muscle paralysis. XX multiple deeper abscesses, osteomyelitis of deeper bones are common. XX reduced leukocyte function, resistant infection, spreading cellulitis. XX arterial insufficiency. XX septicemia, diabetic ketoacidosis. XX associated cardiac diseases like ischemic heart disease. Treatment. 3/4. Control of diabetes using insulin. 3. Antibiotics, nutritional supplements, regular cleaning, debridement, dressing. Once granulates, the ulcer is covered with skin graft or flap. Revascularization procedure is done by endarterectomy or thrombectomy or balloon angioplasty or arterial bypass graft. But if distal vessels are involved, then success rate is less. 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, 3/4. Toe, foot, leg amputation. Microcellular rubber, MCR, shoes to prevent injuries, care of foot. Microcellular rubber, MCR, chappal is used in patients with diabetic neuropathy involving foot. Melanie's ulcer, 1924, postoperative progressive bacterial synergistic gangrene. It is commonly seen in postoperative wounds in the abdomen and chest wall like empyema drainage, lung abscess or after surgery for peritonitis. It is common in thorax and abdomen but occasionally can occur in limbs. In the limbs it can be de novo associated with ulcerative colitis or in a pre-existing venous ulcer. It is common in old age and immunosuppressed individuals and after surgery for infected cases. Melanie's ulcer. It is polymicrobial symbiotic infection by microaerophilic streptococci and Staphylococcus aureus. Neither organism is capable of causing such typical lesion independently. It begins in the wound margin, spreading more in the subcutaneous area, often involving extensively. It can often take long time to develop, but may be rapidly spreading ulcer with destruction and deep burrowing of the subcutaneous tissues with excruciating pain. There is small vessel thrombosis with endarteritis and necrosis of the subcutaneous tissue. Outer red area with abundant granulation tissue, middle dusky purple and inner gangrenous with central granulation tissue are often typical. Spreading painful ulcer with discharge is obvious and tauchemia is not uncommon. Management 3/4, 3/4. Initial evaluation, blood sugar estimation, often critical care, antibiotics. Fluid management, blood transfusion, renal and pulmonary system care. Adequate debridement with wound excision is essential. Later, once ulcer granulates, split skin grafting is done. Lupus vulgaris, lupus, wolf. Fig. 1.69. Microcellular rubber, MCR, chappal is used in. It is cutaneous tuberculosis which occurs in young age group. Commonly seen on face, hand and forearm, starts as typical apple jelly nodule with congestion of skin around. Eventually a superficial ulcer with undermined edge is formed. Glass slide pressed firmly on the diseased area to eliminate the surrounding hyperemia causes clinically obvious apple jelly appearance. The ulcer is active with destruction occurs at the periphery and healing taking place at the center. Often lesion extends into nose and oral cavity involving the mucosa. Typical lupus vulgaris, courtesy, Professor Sukumar Maiti, Kolkata. Fig. 1.70. Melanie's ulcer. Due to lymphatic obstruction, facial edema can occur. Long-standing lupus vulgaris can turn into squamous cell carcinoma. Investigation, ESR, discharge study, biopsy, chest X-ray. Treatment. Antituberculous drugs. If complete healing does not occur, then excision and skin grafting is required. Tuberculous ulcer. It is due to Mycobacterium tuberculosis. It is usually due to cold abscess later forming ulcer in the neck, chest wall, axilla and groin. It can also be primary tuberculosis of the skin, commonly in face. Ulcer can be single or multiple, oval or rounded, with undermined edge, due to progression of disease outwards underneath and healing inwards by skin, painless with casseting material on the floor. Ulcer is usually not deep. Regional lymph nodes may be enlarged, matted, firm, and non-tender. Note: tuberculous ulcer is usually painless except in the tongue. Management: discharge study for epithelioid cells, modified histiocytes, AFB, H biopsy, antituberculous drugs. Buzin's disease, erythrocyanosis frigida, erythema induratum. Pierre Bazin, 1850, Paris. It is localized area of fat necrosis with chronic ischemia of ankle skin affecting exclusively adolescent girls. It may be due to tuberculosis. It is observed in girls with more thick subcutaneous fat around ankle. Bluish pink leg which becomes bluish mottling in extreme cold season. On warming, skin turns bright red and painful which is typical due to hyperemia. In these patients, perforating arteries perfusing the skin around the ankle are small, poor, not existing, causing ischemia of skin around ankle which becomes hyperesthetic and sensitive for temperature alteration. Symmetrical, purple nodules develop in ankles and lower leg which later break down forming multiple, small, painful, superficial ulcers often with ankle edema and pigment scars. Treatment is antitubercular drugs and lumbar sympathectomy. Tropical ulcer. It is endemic in monsoon-hit humid tropics with repeated epidemics but sporadic in subtropics. Trauma or insect bite leads into infection exclusively in the lower part of the leg and foot. It is an acute ulcerative lesion of the skin observed in tropical regions like Africa, India and South America. It is associated with lower socioeconomic group, anemia, and malnutrition and vitamin deficiency. It is commonly caused by Fusobacterium fusiformis, Vincent's organisms, and Borrelia vincenti. There are abrasions, redness, papules and pustule formation, acute regional lymphadenitis and severe pain. Pustule bursts in 3 days along with necrobiosis and phagedina causing a spreading painful ulcer with an undermined edge, brownish flow and serosanguineous discharge. Spreading stops in few weeks with ulcer persisting for many months to years. Eventually a chronic, large non-healing, callous ulcer forms with persistent pain, profuse serosanguineous discharge, extremely unpleasant odor, long existing firmly adherent slough in the flow without any obvious constitutional symptoms. During healing it causes a slight pigmented, parchment-like round scar. Often destruction is progressive without cessation, phagedina, to extend into entire soft tissues of foot and leg inviting amputation. Phagedina, Greek, to eat, is also seen in chancroid and cancrum oris. Phagedina is destruction without proliferation. Occasionally squamous cell carcinoma can develop in it. Treatment: improvement in nutrition, penicillin, metronidazole, Usol dressing, skin grafting at a later date. Venous ulcer, gravitational ulcer, it is common around ankle, gaiter zone, due to ambulatory chronic venous hypertension. It is due to varicose veins, long saphenous vein, short saphenous vein, perforators, or postphlebitic limb. Postphlebitic limb consists of veins that has been partially recanalized following deep venous thrombosis which causes increased venous pressure around ankle through perforators. Varicose veins are common in females. 50% of venous ulcers are due to varicose veins, 50% are due to postphlebitic limb, previous DVT. Pain, discomfort, pigmentation, dermatitis, lipodermatosclerosis, ulceration, periostitis, ankle joint ankylosis, Talit's equinovarus deformity and Marjolins ulcer are the problems of varicose veins and later of venous ulcer. Ulcer is initially painful, but once chronicity develops it becomes painless. Ulcer is often vertically oval, commonly located on the medial side, occasionally on lateral side, often on both sides of the ankle, but never above the middle third of the leg. Flow is covered with pale or often without any granulation tissue. When well granulated, edge is sloping. Induration and tenderness is seen often at the base of an ulcer. Venous ulcer is vertically oval with sloping edge and will not penetrate deep fascia. Inguinal lymph nodes, vertical group, are often enlarged. Ulcer often attains very large size which is non-healing, indolent and callous. Ulcer heals on rest and treatment, but reforms again. Scarring is common due to repeated healing and recurrent ulcer formation. This unstable scar of long duration may lead into squamous cell carcinoma, Marjolins ulcer. Management, venous Doppler, regular dressing, skin grafting, specific treatment for varicose veins. Venous ulcer around ankle with skin changes over surrounding area. It is the most common site of venous ulcer. Syphilitic ulcer nowadays it is a rare entity. It is caused by Treponema pallidum bacterium. It is a sexually transmitted disease. It is named as syphilis, after a shepherd named Syphilis who acquired the disease, as was written in a poem by Fracastorius of Verona. Many clinical lesions are observed in different stages of syphilis. John Hunter inoculated himself with syphilis organism to study the clinical features and effects. After 24 years of inoculation, he died from rupture of syphilitic aortic aneurysm at the age of 65. Genital chancre, hard chancre, Hunterian chancre, is painless, hard, button-like, indurated, non-bleeding ulcer, usually seen in corona or frenum of penis, often on lips, breasts and anal region, appears 4 weeks after initial infection in first stage of the disease, primary syphilis. Shorty, painless, firm, discrete groin lymph nodes may get enlarged along with genital chancre. Suppuration in these nodes will not occur. Extragenital chancres in lips and breasts show enlarged neck, axillary nodes which are inflamed, painful and also often may be matted. During second stage, secondary syphilis, white, thickened mucus patches appear commonly in the mouth like small, circular, superficial snail track ulcers. Also there appears raised, flat, hypertrophied, and warty-like epithelium at mucocutaneous junctions, mouth, genitalia, called as condyloma lata. Generalized, shorty, hard, discrete, painless lymph nodes are palpable, epitrochlear and suboccipital nodes in particular are enlarged. Epitrochlear nodes are felt 1–2 cm above the medial epicondyle. It is also enlarged in non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, NHL. Iritis, arthritis, hepatitis, massive liver in syphilis is called as heperlobatum, meningitis, syphi. Lytic osteitis with ivory, sequestrum, coppery red skin rash, moth-eaten alopecia are other features of secondary syphilis. In tertiary, late-stage syphilis, gummatous ulcer develops. It is deep, punched out, painless, non-tender ulcer with wash leather slough in the flow, with silvery tissue paper, like scar around and occurs over the subcutaneous bones like tibia, sternum, skull, palate or other area. It also can occur over the tongue, anterior aspect of the scrotum. It is due to delayed hypersensitivity reaction with endarteritis obliterans and vasculitis. Perforation of nasal septum, palate can occur. Clutton's joint and saber tibia are often seen. Lymph nodes are not affected in tertiary syphilis. Neurosyphilis, tabes dorsalis, aneurysm of arch of aorta are other features of tertiary syphilis. Tabes dorsalis presenting as generalized paralysis of insane is often called as late tertiary or quaternary syphilis. Long quiescent asymptomatic period from secondary to tertiary is called as latent syphilis. Secondary syphilitic stage shows plenty of circulating treponema spirochetes in blood, whereas in tertiary stage spirochetes are less or absent. Early syphilis lasts for 2 years and the patient is infective during this period. Primary syphilis occurs within 4 weeks, secondary in 12 weeks, latent lasts from 2 years to lifetime. Investigations: VDRL, Kahn test, Treponema pallidum hemagglutination test, TPHA, Treponema pallidum immobilization test, TPIT. Treatment: penicillin, drug of choice, doxycycline, 100 mg 3 times a day for 15 days, erythromycin, tetracycline, cephalosporins. Jarisk-Herxheimer reaction is commonly seen after penicillin therapy. Soft chancre, soft sore, decreased ulcer, CHANCROID, bubo. These multiple irregular genital ulcers appear 3 days after infection with Haemophilus ducreyi is a venereal disease. They are acute, painful, tender, non-indurated ulcers. Flow shows yellowish slough with purulent discharge. Edge is edematous and inflamed. Acute regional lymphadenitis with suppuration presenting as tender, soft or firm swelling is common. Such soft fluctuant inguinal swelling is termed as bubo. Treatment is by drugs like cotrimoxazole, erythromycin, ciprofloxacillin, ceftriaxone, aspiration of bubo. Climatic bubo, tropical bubo. It is due to lymphogranuloma inguinale, a venereal spreading organism, LGV, chlamydia type L1, 2, 3. In LGV, lesion of primary genital stage is small, painless and commonly unnoticed. Lesion of secondary stage develops in 2 weeks. In males, inguinal lymph nodes. In females, intrapelvic and pararectal nodes are involved. Suppuration of inguinal nodes eventually. Occurs leading into discharging sinuses. Frye intradermal test becomes positive in 6 weeks and remains positive for lifetime. In tertiary stage, eye, joint, meninges may get involved after many years. Repeated chronic inflammation, lymphatic blockage, scarring can cause rectal stricture and vulval elephantiasis, osteomen, in females. Treatment is tetracycline for 3 weeks. Other ulcers. Ulcers can occur in various parts like over shin, legs, feet, face, chest wall, in various diseases like anemia, polycythemia, sickle cell disease, hereditary spherocytosis, leukemia, vasculitis, autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, Paget's disease of bone, deep, non-mobile, fixed to bone, common in tibia, ulcerative colitis, etc. Treponema pertinue causing yaws, Frambacia, can have multiple painless ulcers in leg and feet due to walking with. Barefoot, organism enters through abrasion, which heals spontaneously leaving a tissue paper-like scar. Poor hygiene and dressings can cause multiple, small, red often scabbed Staphylococcus aureus ulcers on the skin over the leg and feet, which is often recurrent and disturbing. Buruli ulcer. It is chronic ulcer caused by Mycobacterium ulcerans, acid-fast bacillus. Initially it forms a subcutaneous nodule, later forming non-caseous necrosis showing slow healing with severe scarring. Well so, it is cutaneous diphtheria through the skin causing vesicles with a straw-colored fluid. Once vesicles rupture, chronic tender shallow ulcers will form. Delhi boil, oriental sore, here Leishmania tropica infection causes indurated papullae on the face and exposed body parts causing indolent chronic ulcer which heals producing an ugly pigmented scar.